Hi, friends. It's Garrett here. I just wanted to record a quick little video to kind of just share my thoughts with you. This is a little video for the Sunday school teachers in particular. Um, and if we had the opportunity to meet with you, then this wouldn't be necessary. But this is something that I wanted to get out to you before Sunday, and I won't even be in town on Sunday anyway. So, um, I I really am excited about this week's Come Follow Me lesson. Um, we are responsible for our own learning. Let me share the screen here with you. Um, I think this is so powerful, and I don't want this week to get overlooked in the hustle and bustle of Christmas and then New Year's. I think that there's so much important material, and these principles in this week's lesson are so valuable that as my presidency and I were talking about how we can emphasize this principle, we came up with a few ideas. But the first thing I want to share is just, will you really ponder and pray and think about how can we teach this upcoming Sunday to our youth and adults, right? Um, if youth and adults in the church and really in society at large can better understand the principle that we are responsible for our own learning, man, I think it would make such a big difference. It would make such a big difference and be such a big help, excuse me, to people's faith and testimony. So I don't want to make this video long, but I do want to point out some really powerful things. I love that this is the way that the church has decided to introduce the New Testament. We had a similar lesson 4 years ago when they first introduced Come Follow Me, that first New Testament year. And now it's in the New Testament Come Follow Me manual again, and it's so valuable. But I love that it talks about the Savior's invitation to come follow me. I love a couple options here that talks about how to study, but I want to point out two things in particular. This quote from Elder Bednar. Elder David A. Bednar taught, "We should not expect the church as an organization to teach or tell us everything we need to know and do to become devoted disciples and endure valiantly to the end. Rather, our personal responsibility is to learn what we should learn, to live as we know we should live, and to become who the Master would have us become. And our homes are the ultimate setting for learning, living, and becoming." So important for people to understand this idea. So important for people to understand the idea that it's not that we have the church just tell us everything. It's that we take personal responsibility, and that the home is the ultimate setting for learning, living, and becoming. My daughter's walking around in this side here. This is my parents' house, by the way, visiting them for the holidays down in Arizona. So that was so powerful. But then I loved this other element here. Perhaps you know people, or this other statement here, perhaps you know people who never seem to lose their faith, no matter what happens in their lives. They may remind you of the five wise virgins in the Savior's parable. What you may not see are their diligent efforts to strengthen their testimonies of the truth. Now, what should I do in half budget? Oh man, these last three principles are so valuable. You could spend the entire lesson on Sunday on any one of these three things, or all three of these. Like, there's so many good things. I'll let you look at that later. But here's what I wanted to mention. So I have two invitations. The first invitation is for you to really ponder and pray and prepare with the idea in mind of how can we help our youth and adults in the Legacy Farms Third Ward really know and understand this principle. Okay. And the second invitation is this Sunday, January 1st, will you please save time, probably at the end of your lesson, for people to set a personal gospel learning goal? We are responsible for our own learning goal. A 2-week challenge is what we're calling it. Save time for people to decide for themselves what 2-week challenge they want. And that could be something related to their personal study, probably will be something related to their personal study, but it could be family study, either one. But give people a 2-week challenge and testify with power of how important this is. And people are gonna take this however they want. Their goal may be totally different than mine, and your goal may be totally different even from your spouse's. right? Any of those things, anything is fine. But the idea is for 2 weeks to do something that will take responsibility for our own learnings, for during these 2 weeks to really try and use the idea of a new year to start doing something. I guess not even start or continue doing something meaningful with their gospel learning. Okay. And then 2 weeks later, follow up on January 15th and tell them in advance. We're going to have some follow-up time next time we have Sunday school lesson, January 15th. So that's the idea behind this 2-week challenge. And hopefully when we have the follow-up on January 15th, we can even extend another invitation, right? For the next 2 weeks. We're toying around with the idea of making this just a standard thing, because an important principle is this: we only get them for 50 minutes every other week. That's 100 minutes a month. So we can't teach everything we need to teach in those 2 hours, right? We can't strengthen and fortify their testimonies to last the whole month when we only get 2 hours a month. But if in our lessons we can help them become responsible for their own learning, that'll make all the difference. And that's where we can really, really make a difference as Sunday school teachers. I love the Lord and I love learning about him and his gospel. And I'm excited for this new year. Thank you, my friends, for letting me talk with you a little bit. Happy New Year.